Okay.
Okay, we're going to start with the demo today. My name is Jay. As I said, I have been a Thermomix consultant for 7 years. So I just celebrated my anniversary, 7th year anniversary 3 days ago. So I'm very excited to show you what Thermomix can do. This is the TM6. That is the current version on sale. And I want to show you really quickly a little bit about the company history. The Thermomix was made by Volbeck. Volbeck is the German family business that was established 140 years ago. That's why we are celebrating 140-year anniversary with a promotion right now. We have evolved over the years. Thermomix, the brand, has been evolving in the last 51 years. We are selling in how many countries? 75 countries around the world. I keep forgetting. And it has been a lot of coverage lately. If you have seen the ABC live show on Monday, I'm sure Jackie saw that. You see Whoopi Goldberg was, talk to people about that. As a matter of fact, Whoopi didn't get paid to do this for Thermomix. She came in as a customer because she bought 2 Thermomix in Italy, and then later she bought 1 in the US. And that's how Thermomix company get to know her. And she would like to be the spokesperson because she just fell in love with Thermomix. As a matter of fact, that after the show, she bought 6 more Thermomix from the company. I don't know what to do with that 6, maybe gift out or something. But, and you can see she raved about it. And so there's a lot of like news coverage if you want to do some research. And Thermomix has all the accessories. I'll talk to you about that, especially the current promotion will give you almost $150 worth of accessory at your own choice. So I'm going to talk you through about what accessories, if you're thinking about the current promotion, what would be a good accessory that's not standard. So everything here is standard. That's all included in the current price, which is $14.99 plus tax. The shipping will be waived automatically by using a consultant link to order. And so that's the price. I'm going to skip that really quick. So that's cooking together. So I'm not going to use any presentation material, but let's just cook 2 recipes together. The first one is, I don't know if you eat bread or pizza or any of those things. Do you ever make them in your home kitchen?
No, I'm gluten-free, so I don't know if there's any recipes in there for gluten-free bread and rolls. A lot of times I end up buying, pizza. I've got some pie crust in there that are gluten-free.
Absolutely. We'll show you the gluten-free recipe collections. If you type in gluten-free in our Cook I Do recipe platform, you will find more than 1,000 recipes, but I'll show you in a bit, okay? And Carmen, what about you?
What? I don't cook.
Okay, so no worry. We'll show you something pretty fun and easy. Okay, so the one I picked for today, I usually do the pizza dough, but I've done 2 pizza dough in the last 2 days for demo. So my husband is sick of eating.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try something different. So this is what I picked for today. It's called braided milk bread. So if you scroll down, as soon as you pick the recipe, they will tell you how difficult it is, what's the duration, prep time, total time. They also have a choice for serving size. If I click on it, do you want 20 slices or 30 slices or 40 slices? So depending on the size, sometimes people like to say, I only have time to bake once a week, right? And they like to store it for future. They may want to do the 40 slices. Or if they have a big party or Thanksgiving is coming around the corner, have a guest, or they want to bring it to a party. But sometimes if you want to do it smaller sizes, like in my case, I baked sourdough bread this morning. So yeah, I would love to have another bread, but I'm not going to do the big portion. So I chose the 20 slices. And then I can, it applies to many other recipes as well. So not one, but also some other recipes. You can also change the portion size. If you have a small, meal that, small size of party or small size of your family, you don't want a leftover, but you can also do large size to do the meal prep, that kind of thing. All right.
Now, all the recipes, they come from that company, Cookie Dough or whatever. What is the name of the company?
The Cookie Dough is the name of the recipe platform that is owned by Thermomix.
And that is a subscription service?
Good question. So as a new user, you all get, when I say new user, just before you purchase, you all have 1 month free access to browse through any recipes on the Cook-I-Do platform. We have
How long did you say?
Yeah, we have close to 100,000 recipes. And after that 1 month, if you have a new Thermomix activated, you will automatically getting 6 months free membership. After that, you will pay $55 a year for the membership. You don't need membership to cook with Thermomix. Don't take me wrong. There are about 160 recipes that's basic that come with the Thermomix. Some people don't find the benefit of having membership. However, in my opinion, that is really like, the cream on top, for using Thermomix, especially if you're not familiar with cooking or you don't know how to cook. I think it just really makes cooking very easy by doing the guided cooking. So, and then remember, one Cook-I-Do membership can support up to 5 Thermomix. So if you ended up with, having a family member, even if it's not in the US, you can all share. It's a worldwide recipe membership. And if you ever consider joining us as a consultant, the Cook-I-Do membership will be free. Every year we'll get a voucher for free access because we want all the consultants have it as a business tool.
All right.
With that being said, let's just get started. So if I could start cooking, and they will take me one step at a time. For example, the first step, they ask you to lightly grease a bowl. I'm not doing that yet. I'm doing it a little bit later. But the second step will be, say, place 7 ounces of milk. Let me get my milk from the fridge. Okay, so it has a built-in scale right here. So it starts, of course, from 0. If it's not 0, you can always manually tare it. But right now, I'm gonna just add 7 ounces of milk into it. That's close enough. I pre-measure them just to make it quick and easy. But sometimes there's always some errors. So 6.8, good enough. And now I need to add 1.5 ounces of unsalted butter in pieces. So I'm gonna do that right now. I have butter already. So that's 1.5. And the next one would be 2¼ teaspoon of dried instant yeast. I have it prepped here. Plus the next step is 1.5 ounce to 1.5 ounce of sugar. The reason I gave you a range is really depending on you wanted this bread to be sweet or less sweet, right? So I like it not too sweet, so I chose only 1/2 ounce. So I'm gonna put that in here. That's all together. And now next step is we're gonna add the lid and the measuring cup together. So we're gonna do a quick 3 minutes to warm it up at 100°F at speed 2. So they're mixing all these ingredients together. And remember, I took the milk from the fridge and it's very cold, right? But in order to activate the yeast to start helping my bread to rise, I warm it up at a precise temperature of 100°F, which is controlled by Thermomix. I don't need to watch, sometimes when you do other recipes, you will say, oh, lukewarm water. What do you mean by lukewarm water? Your lukewarm may be different from mine, right? And if I do it too warm, that's gonna kill the yeast. However, if you're doing the Thermomix, you just don't need to worry about the same because they're gonna rise the temperature to exactly 100°F to get to the desired results. So when I'm doing that, see, I didn't grease my bowl earlier. Now it's the time to do it. Because now I have a little bit of time. So I'm gonna just do a drop of the oil. And I can either use brush, or in my case, sometimes I just use the kitchen towel and just lightly grease my bowl. Just want to show you, this is a double wall stainless steel serving bowl. That is one accessory, one of my favorite accessory that's not standard on the eShop. Why do I like it? First of all, and it's double wall, it keeps your food cold, or you can put ice cream in there and it's keeping cold, or you can put warm soup in it and it keep it warm. And it's also the best tool to rise the dough, because the dough needs to be risen. So this is it's a great thing to have. So I always do that, and I just gonna grease them, and it comes with a lid. It also has a base. I don't usually use the base, but there is like a black base. It's almost like a plate to hold it in place. So that's coming, handy. Whenever I do a bread recipe, I always use it to prove, because it keeps the temperature very steady for extended period of time. And that's really helping the bread to rise, the dough to rise. Okay, just 1 second. Maddie is texting me saying she has some urgent matters. I said, no worries. Right. So now the music comes off, which means that the 3 minutes is already up. So I'm going to press the next step. They asked me to add the flour, the bread flour that's already been pre-measured. I'm going to just show you really quick what's inside of the bowl. You can see the butter is melted with the milk, with the yeast, right? Everything is just steady and looks pretty well mixed up. So now we're gonna put the bread dough in, the flour in it. And we're gonna do a little bit of salt. And we're gonna put it back there and knead it for 2 minutes and 40 seconds. So when you use Thermomix to knead the dough, if it's a pizza dough, it's 2 minutes. With bread, usually it's around 3 minutes, somewhere in between. But anyway, the next one would be, so the next step, if you want to look forward, they say cover it and put in a bowl and place something warm until double in size, about an hour. And then you're gonna also prepare, your baking tray, a baking sheet with parchment paper. So if you don't know how to bake at all you need to do is read the description step by step. Okay, so if you read that step by step, you will be able to follow and do exactly what it tells you to do. Of course, you can deviate if you are experienced or if you have your own recipe. But at least this one has been tested. All the Thermomix recipe has been tested. And if you follow it without any changes, most cases, I would say not 100%. I can tell you there are some recipes I didn't like. But in most cases, the recipes are good recipes. And all the recipes are rated. There are recipes being rated, from 1 star to 5 star. By all the Thermomix users around the world. So when you read a recipe that's being rated 5 or 4 stars, usually it's a very good recipe. There are a few recipes that's not popular or not well received by the community. You might see a recipe that with a 2 or 3 stars. I think as a beginner, I wouldn't recommend trying those recipes because there might be something tricky about it. If you really want to try it, always ask your consultant, so you can ask me, you know, or, you know, some of your friends, if they're using it, you know, but I can definitely help you with those as well. So with that being said, any questions as we are waiting for the meeting to start?
Nope.
Yeah, so I'm waiting for it to stop, and I'm gonna show you really quick. I love to see it's kneading.
Ten seconds.
Yeah, it's gonna be done very quickly. Okay, there we go. All right, let me show you. I'm gonna use a Thermomix dough mat, and I'm gonna take it out. So if I dump it upside down, and I'm gonna just keep, let's just do it this way. See that I can do it upside down and the dough come out. Back there, and just gently, I would fold it into a ball. You don't need to do much. Okay, just make sure you roll everything into the dough ball. And then once we're gonna cook with the second recipe while it's resting, and it's keeping warm in the our serving bowl here is already being, you know, oiled, and I'm just gonna keep it here because it's keeping the temperature, although the temperature is not very high, but it's still nicer, especially winter time. So we're gonna keep it here and it will rise, and we'll see later after we finish the second recipe what it looks like. And then I want to show you that now the bowl, you can see there are some you know, residuals from the previous recipe. And Thermomix has a pre-clean function that can pre-clean the mixing bowl. So I will demo that for very quickly. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna quickly fill half of the bowl with water.
Now you also put a little bit of soap.
I put 1 drop of soap, yeah, because because the reason is there is butter in it, right? So remember in this recipe, I used the butter. Butter can, you know, like it's creating that grease, right? Mm-hmm. So it's a fat. So basically, that's the word I was trying to look for. So using 1 drop of soap would help. But if you're doing a pizza dough, for example, and you don't want to add olive oil to it, then you don't need any soap. That's always my, you know, my way of doing things. If there's no,
so I don't. If in oily, greasy, that's
exactly. Yeah, that's. I just want to make sure it's being cleaned well. So I filled it up with half. So it's you know, the Thermomix has a volume of 2.2 liter. So usually I would fill it to half of the bowl. Okay. And then I want to make sure when I'm washing it, nothing gets splashed out. So I'm going to use the measuring cup on top. And
I think you want to say hello. You might not even know you're.
Oh, I think.
There should be an extra window.
Okay, so may I ask who just joined?
There.
Here we go. Recording in progress.
Hello.
Hello. Hi, G.
Hi, is this Ula?
Yeah.
Okay, so may you do me a favor of mute yourself, because I want to make sure that we continue with it. Ula is a consultant we have in the Hawaii area. She's in a different island, Carmen. She's the one
in Oahu.
Yeah. Exactly, Oahu. And then so she just received her Thermomix. She just joined recently. She's also here to learn, and also she's gonna be helping you, Carmen, if you decided to become a customer. They'll, so as I mentioned yesterday, then we're both gonna help you out. Okay, so I'm gonna continue with the pre-washing. So I appreciate that, Ula. You can mute yourself, but if you have a question, you can always jump in later. And before I do the pre-washing, I do want to show you this video. A lot of Thermomix recipe come with small videos. So in these scenarios, when the dough is risen, doubled in size, we need to do shaping. All right. So when you shape, there are words to describe how you shape it, but sometimes everybody's different, right? Some people are more visual learners. Some people can read and learn. Everyone's different. That's why the company created all these little clips, video clips, to demo and show you what they mean by shaping them. How do you braid them into a milk bread? This is a very famous bread they eat in Switzerland, I believe, for their Sunday brunch. So if you never braided before, this, something nice to have. And then the next step is show you the picture. What is the end result looks like? So you can just imitate that. Okay. So I'm gonna quickly finish this one, and they tell you how to bake it. What's the temperature, how long you should bake for it. All of that information is right there. Not only on the TM6 screen, but it's also on your phone. If you use the app, you can also download, whether it's Android phone or Apple phone, you can download that particular Cookido recipe platform, and it will synchronize with everything you cook. All right, you can choose that from your phone and get synchronized to your TM6, or you do the other way around. Either way is fine. You can also do website. We have website, we have TM6 that's built in, as well as the app. So now we're gonna swipe the main screen to the left, and you will see there are about 17 different special functions there. I'll show you, a few functions later, but for now, we're gonna choose pre-clean. So I'm gonna quickly start the program. There are 5 different choices. It's very hard to read, I know, but it says short, dough, all-purpose, fats or caramel, or browned bottom. So it depending on how dirty your bowl is, you can choose different programs. For today's purpose, demo purpose, I do the short program. It's very short. It's only a minute. So it's almost like a laundry machine. And we just do turns, right? Because we have a blade inside. It's just doing forward turns and reverse to wash your bowl very quickly. You saw how dirty the bowl is, but let me show you after a minute, once the pre-clean cycle is over, what the bowl looks like. So you can see the difference between before and after. So this is the brush I like to use. That's also sold on the eShop for $9. That's not part of the set. I love it. The reason is it does not go moldy. It can put in the dishwasher to wash if you feel it needs like a thorough clean. It lasts at least for a year for me, and it's just very easy tool to use. It's not too hard. It's not too soft. I really, really love it. So I'll show you right now what I mean. So you can see the water. It's very hard for me to tilt, but the water is already turning into white. Just be careful because I only did the short program. And usually with dough like this, I would do the dough, setting, but that takes about 5 minutes, and I don't want to keep you waiting for 5 minutes. So if I do it on the sinks, what I would do is I'll use the brush to give it a little bit of help. Okay, like this. All right. Then I'm gonna dump the water without further washing. I'll show you how it looks like. Okay. This is what it looked like. I didn't even use any other things to wash it. Okay, I'm sorry, it dripped a little bit because I tilted. There's some residual, but it's pretty much clean if you look at it, right?
Yep.
It's pretty nice. So, and the other nice thing about it is that you can put everything into dishwasher. So if you are not waiting to cook your next dish and then you started your dinner, you can just put it in the dishwasher and you don't have to worry about hand washing or anything like that. But for today's purpose, because the next recipe, we do need a very clean bowl to start. So instead of keep you waiting when I finish washing it, I'm gonna switch to a new bowl, all right? And then before we start, show you one thing which I forgot at the beginning of the session is how to take the blade off. Why is that important? Sometimes when we are in the middle of the cooking, we want to make sure the bowl is completely clean. Of course, you can do that in dishwasher and drying it, but sometimes you also want to make sure there's nothing hidden beneath the blade. And this is when you can unassemble it, and then very easy, takes literally 5 seconds. And then you can also put it back there with another 2-3 more seconds. And
So
this is
the blade, you can put it on the dishwasher, everything.
everything, including the base as well. You notice there is a base. There are 5 heating pins here, and there is center where it's connected to the motor. So all of that, although they are connected with the electricity on the base, they are dishwasher safe.
Okay.
As long as you dry them before you start using them again. So if you are taking out from the dishwasher right away without drying cycle, because some people don't like drying cycle, then you need to use a towel or paper towel to wipe it dry. As long as you can easily put it back to the plate and start cooking the next recipe. So the next recipe we're gonna do is we're gonna do the Whoopi Goldberg's favorite recipe, which is the Parmesan risotto, which is featured on this ABC live show. I love this recipe. I tell you, she cannot stop raving recipe. So we're gonna start again. Same thing. You can change the portion size. Given that in our family right now we only have 2 people for dinner tonight, so I opted for the lowest portion, which is 2. But you can go to 4 or 5. So I do that, and then, so the first one is to ask you to add, let me just get all the ingredients over. I'm just gonna move it very quickly. All right. Perfect. All right. So the first step is to add the Parmesan cheese block, okay? I like to buy block because they actually taste better than the shredded Parmesan cheese, in my opinion. So we're gonna put in there. It's a little bit short of 1 ounce because really this is something to add later to your risotto. So depending on the personal preference, I just happened to cut once of the big block and it came out to be 0.8. That's fine, not a big deal. So now there are gonna be a little bit loud noises. So, but bear with me for only 10 seconds. All right, I don't know if the Zoom will block some of the noise, but if you hear noises, I'm sorry, because this is what you're gonna end up with when you do the 10-second grading. It's hard to see, but let me just, I don't know if you're able to see that because I only use a tiny bit. I mean, it's hard. Let me do that. Let me do this. Okay.
So you later will put cabbage in 10 seconds?
Hi, Ula, are you speaking or are you asking me a question?
Yeah.
Can
Are
we
you
hear?
in 10 seconds, 1 cup of Parmesan?
Yeah, you don't need to remember any of that because it's guided cooking, so everything is already in the recipe. So I want to show you after grating of the Parmesan cheese, this is the results we are getting.
Yeah.
Okay.
But not Yeah.
Now it's the freshness of the cheese. If you buy the good ones, it's much better than buying pre-shredded ones or pre-grated ones. You don't need to wash the bowl at all. I mean, if you want, that's okay. But for me, it doesn't really matter. You have some residual Parmesan cheese, you can continue with it. This recipe also didn't tell you to wash, so it's okay not to wash. The next step is to add 3 ounces of onion. You need to quarter them. You don't need to cut them any further. I have a little bit more, that's okay. Because sometimes you get 1 onion, what are you gonna do? You just take out, no, I'm just putting 1 onion in. And 1 garlic. And now I'm gonna add 1/2 ounce of olive oil. Okay, perfect. And then we're gonna add a little bit of butter. Okay. And we're gonna put down the celery lid like this, but we are not gonna use the measuring cup. This is the measuring cup we're gonna take away. Instead, we're gonna use this one. What is that? This is called splash guard. It's part of the standard accessory. You're gonna put on top to prevent oil from splashing, and then your kitchen counter will be very clean. So we're gonna do 3.
I don't hear.
We couldn't hear you.
Yeah, now you couldn't hear.
We kind of.
You're breaking out, Jay. Jay, you're breaking out. Your voice is breaking out. Oh.
No talk.
Can you hear me now?
No.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Are you
Yes.
now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't know what happened, Carmen. I apologize. I don't know from what time you couldn't hear me, but my husband is starting the car downstairs because this is right above the garage. And when the car starts, somehow the Bluetooth took over my phone. Many times before. But anyway, he's probably driving out to do something. So what I was trying to explain, I don't know from when you couldn't hear me. So
And the Parmigiano pattern.
yeah, so you can see, I'm just saying, you can see the smoke coming out. It's really sauteing the onion, the garlic with the butter and the olive oil. I wish you can smell it, but it's just really that, it just really makes you feel like, oh, if you have a family member coming while you're doing this, I think they're gonna say, oh, you're cooking something delicious for dinner tonight, right? That's what I'm doing right now. So with a few seconds left, I'm just saying you don't need to sit there and stir anything. This sauteing is being done by Thermomix hands-free. So you don't have to worry about it. And once it's done, I'll show you what it looks like now. So you can see the onion, the garlic are being browned because you wanted that char factor. You wanted to have a little bit of that. But the next step we're gonna do, okay, we're gonna put it back there. So now they are still in large pieces. Remember, we haven't cut them. Now we're gonna do 3 seconds at speed 5 to chop it down. 3 seconds is really, really fast. Let me just show you what afterwards, what it looks like. Okay. There you go. So you can see there's something on the side because they get on the sides a little bit, but it's a lot better if I can take it out and show you this way. Okay. So you can see the onions are being chopped down. If you like them to be chopped further, I like it this way, but some people may say, I want it to be chopped more. Easy. You just add 2 more seconds to it or 3 more seconds to it. But right now I'm pretty happy with IC. And next step is to add 5 ounces of risotto rice. I have it prepped right here. I'm gonna put it here. The next step would be putting without the measuring cup, just the lid. I'm gonna do exactly what it says. And I'm turning it to speed 1 as it's guided in. So they're doing 2 minutes of sauteing at speed 1. And I want you to pay a small attention to a small detail here. Under the speed 1, there is like a reverse button. So what it means is, every knife, no exceptions, has one side that's sharp and the other side that's dull. So when you want to change the size of your ingredients, that's chopping onions, chopping garlic, you wanted the sharp side of the blade to be in touch with your food, right? So that's what we call by, you are doing our clockwise turn. But when you are cooking the risotto rice, we are not trying to cut down the rice into smaller pieces. We wanted the risotto rice to keep its own shape. So when that is the desired results, the Thermomix recipe will tell you to turn on the reverse. This one's turned on for you automatically because it's guided recipe is already been programmed into the Thermomix. So instead of doing clockwise turn, they are doing the reverse turn so that only the dough side of the blade is in touch with your ingredients inside. So this is a great way to do the stirring. Okay, when you are doing your risotto, is very, very important. Any questions so far?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can, Jackie.
I was wondering, I know you're having ounces right now. But when you go into the European or the Australian, they are using the metric system. It'll still be a metric, but if we just use the screen to add the ingredients, will be good, safe.
Very good question. Quite a lot of recipes are being written in many different countries and converted. For example, this Parmesan risotto recipe has the metric system version as well.
Okay.
That one because, we are in the US, most people are familiar with ounces, so I assume that it's fine to use it. But if you're more familiar, actually, even in my own cooking, I'm more familiar with the metric system. I like to use, so those are available. You can choose those as well. I'll show you a little bit later, okay? So
Thank
now,
Same with language.
yes, there are different languages as well. You can select that. Yeah, that's one option as well. So now let's get cooking because we have a lot of time later to answer questions. Let me just get cooking going, okay? They asked for 1 ounce of dry wine, white wine. Again, in this one, if you have a small kid in the home, which is like you want to make sure it's alcohol free, you can skip this one. Not a problem. You add water instead. But in my mind, I don't think that really matters because all this wine will evaporate. It really gives flavor, I would say. Not like you're gonna get drunk after this, but I also have very sensitive parents as customers. They're just very cautious. They say, okay, definitely alcohol, water as a substitute.
Yeah.
Now is 1 minute. We added the wine. we are trying to heat up the wine to get that aroma going. And then the next step, if you want to see what's coming next, here's the thing. See, when I'm doing the demo, you see, I prepped all the ingredients ahead of time because I don't want you see me grabbing things from pantry all the time. I want to be here to be with you, interact with you, or answer questions. But when I'm cooking at home, I don't do that. I only get the ingredients ready for my first step. And add Thermomix is cooking, for example, the first step, 3 minutes sauteing. Then I start to grab my ingredients for the rest. So really saves me a lot of time. I can get a lot of things done at the same time. So now it's very quick. So we are done. So we do the next. They ask to add, oh, let me show you what it looks like right now. See, in the bowl, you can see things are mixed already. There are the risotto rice, the onion, the garlic, the butter, the olive oil, as well as the wine, all kind of stirred together. The next step, we're gonna add the water. 12.5 ounces of water. Okay. And we're gonna add the veggie stock paste. This is the one I'm gonna show you. I always have it in my refrigerator. It's a Thermomix recipe. You can homemade your own stock paste. This is a lot of fresh vegetables, organic vegetables, as well as a lot of organic herbs. I have a little bit of herbs grown in my, not backyard, but in my patio. I have a herb garden. So I always use fresh ones to do it. So this is something you can do with a Thermomix recipe at home. And it creates all the flavors. So you don't need to buy them. The store-bought one sometimes has preservatives. I don't know what goes in there. But if you do yourself, that's fine. The next step is to add 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I don't like a lot of salt, so I always skip this step. But if you wanted to follow the recipe to the dot, you can do that. But just for me, sorry, I'm the one eating it. So I'm gonna do it my way. And then next step, we're gonna do, they ask you to use simmering basket on top. I forgot to add that. I can do it right now. So it's an 11-minute cooking at temperature of 212 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 100 degrees Celsius, the boiling point. Again, the reverse button was automatic activated at speed 1. Now we have to wait 11 minutes. So what are you gonna do if you're at home and Thermomix is doing the stirring for you, 11 minutes?
Why don't you put the simmering basket on it?
Sorry, I cannot hear you very clearly, Ula.
Okay, why do you put the simmering basket on it?
I'm sorry, maybe it's just me. Is it possible you get closer to the mic a little bit? Because
As you said, why did you put the simmering basket on?
Oh, the simmering basket on top. Okay, it's basically prevented from splashing, but it holes. Okay, it's a new safety thing. So if you don't use that, you use the measuring cup on top. Basically, nothing. I mean, there are things getting evaporated a little bit, but you are also blocking it. And because we want to make sure you're never gonna have safety concerns, using the basket on top, and you basically leave the pot a little bit open, not in a closed environment to cook.
So
when
that doesn't splash.
Yeah. So if you are in blending, let's say today you want to do a smoothie, of course, then you need to use this instead of the simmering basket. Because you want anything to come off your Thermomix, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So all of these instructions, if you do guided cooking, they will tell you what accessories to add, what to use, etc., etc. So you can choose, or you can read, or you can watch the video. Not video, sorry. They have pictures to show you every step of the way what tools needs to be used, what accessory needs to be used. So far, other than the serving bowl, we put the dough inside. Everything is part of the standard accessory. The simmering basket, sorry, I need to switch to that. The measuring cup, the spatula, and also we use the splash guard. The splash guard is specifically for high heat, okay? So only when we're doing the sauteed onion of the garlic, that's when we use that one. And we also have other accessories that's part of the standard. This is the Varoma set. The Varoma set has 3 pieces. This is the Varoma dish. This is the Varoma tray on top. And of course, there is a lid on top to prevent the steam coming off, right? Getting escaped. So if you do the steaming, what you do is instead of the simmering basket on top, you put this one on top of your lid like this. So if you are cooking the soup, just imagine you're cooking the pumpkin soup down below, because we're getting so close to Thanksgiving. Pumpkin soup or any soup, it's very comforting, very satisfying. But when you're cooking soup down below, the steam coming from the soup will come up. And so if you put any fish or shrimp, you know, some of shellfish or vegetables inside, and then you can basically do multi-layer cooking. So you can cook your soup, your fish, your veggie, all at the same time. Okay.
Yep.
So there's somebody calling me. I just sent them to voicemail. Sorry. Yeah, so this is what we call multi-layer cooking. So you can have 3 different meals on the one meal with 3 different things all at the same time. One of the most popular ones we do is we cook a veggie soup down below. Then we have the salmon, and we can also do the rice at the same time. So, and then also vegetable stock on, cooked on top. So now, when you are done, 30 minutes cooking, you got your protein, you got your rice, you got your soup, and you got your steamed vegetable all being cooked together. Yeah, we call it whole meal. The whole meal is ready. So there are recipes being written by that. And obviously, as you get used to the way Thermomix cooks, you can start switching things. So instead of salmon, or you say, oh, I have codfish. Can I do that? Yeah, of course, right? So those are the things you can start to substitute. And I do a lot of, actually, I like to do a lot of substitution because I will see what I have in the kitchen, right? And now I'll just do the main thing, and now I will start to use my own judgment. But if you say, I never cooked before, this is my first time try, I just want to follow the recipe blindly, absolutely, okay? And I'm going to show you something. Now we have about 5 minutes left. I want to show you very quick on the Thermomix, some of other features. So first of all, we saw some of the special functions. They are chopping functions. You can chop almost everything, whether it's fresh herb, chocolate, coffee beans. We can also grind meat for you. You have grain, you want to get them to very fine powder. You have sugar, you want to grind them powder sugar. Vegetables, onions, garlic, you name it. And then if you go to the chop function, you can do very smart selection. So you say, I have carrots, I want to chop it down. What do I do? They will tell you how long it's going to take, what's the speed. You just need to search and find what ingredients you want to chop. So let's say, for example, you want to grate your cheese. So depending on whether the cheese is hard cheese or soft cheese or medium soft cheese, then they will give you different time and different speed. They will suggest to you. And then also depending on the quantity you have, also how fine you wanted them to grate it. So all of that is being kind of programmed, and you just need to follow and click on it. The other function is grating and slicing. That would require a separate tool. That tool right now, although it was launched, but it was sold out, it's called Cutter. If you're interested, I'm not going to go into the details. The reason is it's not in stock right now. Okay, it's very, very popular. It's basically slicing or grating your vegetables for you. Okay, and we look at the scale. We did the dough function. We did the pre-clean. There's a turbo function as well. Turbo is basically a very high speed. For 1 minute, they do more than 10,000 rips, which getting things very, very fine. Fermentation is what I like to do when I want to make my home yogurt. I want to, do yogurt from scratch. Either has yogurt starter in powder form, or I have a yogurt starter, from some, yogurt company. They do the starter as well. So you just buy a little jar instead of the large. The nice thing about doing your own yogurt is that you can really make any way you want. You can do, whole milk, or you want to do organic. You can also choose the sweetness to it, because a lot of store-bought yogurt, not only they don't have enough prebiotics or probiotics, they also have lots of sugar in it. So sometimes to watch our sugar intake. That's when I like to do my own yogurt. Egg boiler, again, depending on how hard you wanted the egg yolk to be, it can be a medium, which is what I like. You can have a soft, egg yolk, or you can have a hard-boiled one. So because the temperature and the cooking time are being precisely controlled, so you will get your desired results with no failure at all. The kettle function, easy. If you want to brew your tea, but you may not necessarily want it to get to the boiling point, you can control the temperature, and they will tell you when it's ready. Thickening is a function we use a lot when we make sauces for our dish, whether it's a sauce for a dessert, a sauce for steak, or sauce for fish, or sauce for example, Hollandaise sauce. It's not an easy sauce to make if you're a home chef. But with Thermomix, you follow the recipe and they will just get you to what you want. Blending, we do that a lot with smoothie, or if you want it to be, some people like alternative milk, you want to do your own nut milk, that's perfect. That's where you can do that. Slow cooking, let me just introduce to you one accessory that's not part of the standard accessory. If you like to do a lot of slow cooking, or you like to do sous vide, these two separate functions, you would want to have this one, which is called peeler and blade cover. Basically, it blocks your blade away from anything in the mixing bowl, whether it's a sous vide bag, that's a French word, or it is like, your meat that needs to be cooked over time. When I say over time, usually cook more than an hour, right? This needs to be slow cooked. Sometimes it's the tough side of the meat, but if you cook for extended period of time, you get a very tender meat, okay? But then you don't want them to be shredded, because if you cook them for a long time and they are in contact with the blade, even if you do the reverse, sometimes they may still break apart. So by using the blade cover here to block it, you basically keeping it in whole piece. That's the desired results you want. Okay, so this is what it's for. And because it also has a different function called peeler, so this special function will have that. Okay, so we are about to finish on this step, so I'm going to stop on that. Anytime you have questions about this accessory, I always have an official video to show you how it functions. We just cannot do all of them in this demo, so I just wanted you to be aware of that. Okay, so now we check the doneness, so let me take this away. Okay, now you can see the steam come out. If I had food in here, it would have been at the same time, right? But because I don't, it's empty, so I'm gonna put it aside for now. And I'm gonna check on my risotto. The reason it's done only for 11 minutes is because depending on your own personal taste, some people like it more al dente, which is a more authentic Italian way, but some people like it to be more well, just like steak. Everybody's preference is different, right? So there's no right or wrong answer. But 11 minutes is really getting you to that al dente kind of, finish. You can see from here how it looks like, okay? But if you are like me, I find al dente is not my favorite doneness. I like to add 1 or 2 minutes to it. You can definitely do that, because even the recipe calls for that, okay? But you are the chef, so the next one, they say add 3 minutes. I think 3 minutes is a bit overdone. I like to do 1 minute more since I am eating it, so I'm gonna change that. Okay. And I'm gonna see, it's called for 3 minutes, but you can always override. Okay. I always call the guided cooking as like a GPS. Oh, Carmen just dropped. Maybe she think we went over time. I'm sorry. I'll follow up with Carmen later. But anyhow, so we're gonna do that cooking for 1 more minute. And we're gonna allow that to rest. We can do that later. But anyway, so that's the last step. So I want it to be done perfectly for my dinner. So I'm gonna add 1 more minute to it. So I'm gonna put in the glass jar for you to see after I'm done with it. And that will be the end of our demo today. Any question from you, Jackie?
When do you put the Parmesan in?
Oh, you put it on top. See, you have a
Oh,
here.
okay.
You put it together. You know, it's something you add on top. So once you serve the risotto, okay, you can add any seasoning you want, and then you put the Parmesan on top. Remember, if you
Oh, okay.
what at restaurant, what they do is that they serve you the risotto, then they say, do you want some Parmesan? And they start using a grater, and then it starts to grate it for you, right?
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what it is. Okay, so here is it, but I'm gonna take it out so you can see better. You know what, I'm gonna do it this way so you can see why I'm taking it out. It's really creamy. It's done at the right time. It's not mushy, you know, it's not like, you know, you become a soupy thing. And that's why Whoopi was so excited about that.
Yeah, she was. I watched her and she was just beaming.
And she's being very authentic as well. So it's not like, you know, she's doing this for commercial because she can make money out of it, you know?
No, she doesn't need the money. In fact, everybody in the audience, she gave one of these systems to.
I know. And, you know, her personal chef also loves it. She was in that show as well. Did you watch that?
Yes.
You know, her assistant. And then, you know, if you like to watch, she also talked about Thermomix after the show. There was a video we recorded. And she was so authentic. She was like, you know, it was, the show was over. Okay. So she was still on stage, tell people how much she loves Thermomix and why she loves Thermomix. And oh, is that she makes more after the show. I was like, oh wow, that's me. You know, when you have that much money, right?
It's called what, Behind the Table or something?
Yeah, that was after, you know, after
Yeah,
show.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah. So anyway, this is what you get once you finish. And this is only 2 people portion, but I think that's already a lot. Just imagine.
Yeah, that looks like about 4 people portion.
Yeah, and just imagine this is 2, and the recipe can go up to 5, which is 2
Oh, wow.
more than, you know, like 2.5 times of that. It really feed the crowd, right?
Definitely.
Yeah, so with that, we're gonna stop it here.
Thank you.
You have questions that I can help you answer. Sorry, I saw the Carmen left, but Carmen, I'm sorry, did I miss you or you dropped?
I don't know. Is she back on?
She's back on.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I went over time and you just had other commitment, and then I apologize.
Well, I'm fine.
So much.
So with that, we only had time to do 2 recipes because usually when you cook, it doesn't take that long, but because I'm just very talkative, right? So I just keep talking. But I want to make sure your questions are being answered. And if you want to see the black one, Carmen, you missed that. I had a black one in my contact. I can, you know, bring it over and show you again.
Mhm.
And any other questions you have?
So my primary question is, I would like to see what you can cook with this. I mean, I would like to see recipes of what you can cook. Is there a place where I can see that? Because I'm not a member of that cookie dough.
Yeah.
So
I send you the link to register a free account. You have 1 month to browse through. You don't need to.
Good.
Yeah, so you will see, and I will give you instructions about how to change the filter. The reason that is important is, let me just show you quickly. So if I finish this recipe, okay, and I can do the same browsing on the screen as well. So I can swipe to the right, and then you will see this is the Cook I Do recipe platform. All right, so so let me just show you really quick. For example, we have so many recipes, and then we talk about the new features. There are 18 modes being explained with short video. For example, I was trying to explain the chop, but it's very hard to imagine. But let me just play a quick video for you. It's all on the Cook I Do website. By the way, if you register, you have access to all the information.
Okay.
But let me just find the chop function. Where is it? It's hard to read upside down, I have to tell you.
All right.
So bear with me just 1 second. Where is that? Where's chop? Interesting. I think I was playing with it the other day. Where's the chop function? Why is not there? Hold on.
Reminds me when I go through my photo. Really? Oh, yeah.
Ula, you echoes, could you mute? I'm sorry. You have some echoes there. It's making it a little bit difficult to hear. So the reason it's not there is that that's a new function. Maybe they have it. The created recipe, you can also create your recipe, and the new blade cover, you can see that. Scale recipe, we talk about that. Chop function is right here. Sorry, I thought it was the 18, but we added this new tool. So you can watch this one.
But that's the tool that you don't have, right?
No, you don't need any tool for this function.
Oh, you don't. Okay.
Yeah, you don't need any accessory for it.
You want out, baby?
Yeah, I see of that. So I'm gonna stop the video.
Okay.
I'm gonna stop the video, and you can always rewatch anything on the Cook I Do website.
Okay.
You know, all these functions. So, but it has a built-in sound, as you can tell. I mean, whether a company gonna leverage that technology to do something like read a recipe to you, if your eyesight's limited, you know, because I think I'm getting to that age too.
We are.
You know, it's all possible because we do software update periodically.
Okay.
Add features, enhancement, all that. Any other questions I might help you today?
Nope.
Okay, so I'm gonna do one last thing. I'm gonna try gluten-free search for Jackie here, because she asked me at the beginning of this. So if you want to type in gluten-free, okay, keep in mind that in my personalized filter, I only searched English. I don't search anything. I search English and Spanish. I put these two languages there, plus the Chinese, but that's okay. But if you just do that, the gluten-free recipe, there are 4,360 results found.
Oh my.
In any other language. So you can find some gluten-free dessert. You can find gluten-free bread, like here, with 5-star gluten-free Mediterranean bread. How does that sound?
Oh, that sounds really good. I love bread.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can search any keywords. If you want to search low carb, you want to search keto, or search a key ingredients, like you want to search salmon, for example, or you want to search rice, whatever you want. There are many different ways you can search, and then you can change the setting. You can browse through, your favorite recipes. Even if you just do a risotto, there are like so many choices of risotto. We just did the basic one, but there are also fancy risottos you can do. Mushroom risotto is my favorite. And there's also many other choices you can choose from.
Okay,
Good. All
sounds
right.
good.
Thank you.
So what I'm going to do after this call, I'm going to send you those Cook I Do link, then you can register and browse. And I'm going to let you on Monday. If you are deciding that you are buying today, great. I'm sending you the link to order. Carmen, I will send the link with Wula so that you can be her customer, but I will be here to support you. No worry. And if you are thinking about, oh, maybe I want to know what's going to be the promotion for next Tuesday, you want to make a decision, I will be calling you on Monday to let you know that
Right.
you have
Yeah.
a choice, which one
Mhm.
is appealing to you. Okay.
Right.
Okay,
Yes,
thank you.
You're very welcome. You're both on my list to call on Monday, and I'll be
Okay.
reaching out to you
Yay.
with the Cook I Do link. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much, and thank you. Will also be here to learn and support. And I appreciate Jackie Carmen for your time.
Thank you very
Thank you
much.
very
Have a
much.
nice day.
Have a good
Take
evening.
care.
Bye
Bye-bye.
bye.
Bye-bye.